you would consider base specific, and armies that you would consider a one-size-fits-all, the type you can use to take out any base. This is the former. I would only recommend this on certain bases, and we'll talk about why and how to use this strategy. First of all, when you consider what troop you're going to boost, when you do boost your super witches, you're going to give up your advantage against single target infernos, but you are going to gain an advantage over multi-target inferno. So if you have a lot of people in your clan using regular witches, you might be the one to go ahead and exploit all the multi-target infernos. In the replays you're going to see here, 5 out of the 6 infernos are multi-target, so this is very effective against those. But anyways, the single infernos along with the Giga Inferno are going to be your biggest threat. And your artillery, scatter shots, and CC troops are another thing you're going to want to get down very early. And after that, your heroes are going to be the biggest threat. So our attacker in these replays is going to be using the same method to funnel for his super witches in both attacks. He's going to be using the Warden Walk as well as the Barbarian King on either side. And then after that, he's simply going to drop the witches within the Warden's aura so that the Warden can give them his support. And they're going to charge the area with the most tier 1 threats. Now after that, once he's in a point where he is coasting, this may actually be in the middle of the second step. If you're in the middle of a Warden Walk and you know it may take a little bit long, you may want to do the Yeti Bomb in the midst of that, but you just want to find a time where you can kind of zone off of the other stage and then find a good place to get good value from your Yeti Bomb. In these two replays, he's going to be taking an artillery that is in the opposite side of the base. Now we do have the same exact army being used in both of these replays, so if you want to go ahead and practice this is the army I would recommend. And as far as the troop composition here, we are using 4 rage spells. They don't just speed up these slow super witches, they also make sure that the healers can get enough output to keep them alive in certain areas where there is a lot of DPS. The rest of this, of course, is pretty basic. You have the Yeti Bomb, you have your 5 healers, you have some Coco Loons, some wizards in areas wherever you need a little extra DPS. And the wall breakers is pretty obvious. Obviously you're going to be using the poison on the CC troops. So the biggest challenge of this strategy is keeping our super witches together. As long as we keep those super witches together and we keep the healers on the super witches, those super witches will not die as long as you are not running into single target infernos. So if you take a look at this base, it's pretty easy to make the funnel for the witches to go into the area with a bunch of tier 1 and 2 defenses. You have 2 scatters, the Giga Inferno, and a single target Inferno, all in that one bunch up at the top there. So he's going to use the Barbarian King on the left side of it and the Warden Walk on the top side of it to get that going. And that area on the left is really good for the Barbarian King because it's nice and open and there's not a lot of concentrated DPS. If you look on the right, it's the same thing's true. So the Royal Champion will get a lot of value over on that side, but for now, he starts the Barbarian King over on the left side of where he's planning on entering. He starts his Grand Warden, and since we have the storage there, he sees this is a good time to drop his Blimp Bomb. Sorry about the video here, but he puts the Blimp Bomb there while the Warden is kind of making the funnel, okay? So this just goes to show the Blimp Bomb does not have to be a third stage. You can always squeeze it in while you're doing the first 2 to save time. So now he switches over, he drops his super minions once he has a clear-cut path into where all of those high value defenses are. And we have loons in the CC, which he goes as heads and poisons. He has the Coco Loons go down to help protect those healers in the beginning. You definitely don't want to be losing healers early in the attack, which is what those are for. But anyways, we have 2 scatters there, which is why the Warden ability gets a whole lot of value in this area. So now we have the Queen has gone down. We have a bunch of tier 1 and 2 defenses down. In fact, all of them are down, right? CC troops. the single Inferno, the scatters, and the artillery. They're all down at this point. So if you can do that and just keep your super witches together and under heal, you're pretty much good to go, right? So we're at this point, he's used his Royal Champion on the right in that area with the low concentration of DPS, and now it's just a matter of waiting for his troops to make his way through. Now we do have that well-placed Multi-Target Inferno on the bottom, which is gonna pick off his witches, but we still have his troops all over the place, which are going to be able to come through here in this very well executed attack. Well, this base is an even better example of the type of base that this strategy works well. As you can see, we have these two separate compartments, and once you get those witches in there, it's really easy to keep them together, not to mention there are no single target defenses. So again, we have the Giga Bomb near 2 scatter shots, there's a whole lot of value there, and we have the Eagle Artillery over here, which is very easy to blimp bomb. So early in the attack, he's going to get down, once again, all of the tier 1 and 2 defenses. Now, one thing he could have done better here is clear that gold mine on the corner of the bottom compartment at around 5 o'clock. That way, the king could have gone inside and helped the witches stay focused in that area. But it's still a very well done attack. That is a comfortable 3-star. So, once again, he has good poison placement on the CC troops coming out there. And the witches are staying together, which is the main essential thing of this strategy. And he hasn't used his Warden ability because we still have that Giga Bomb and the Scatter Shot to worry about, but he is going to be using that Yeti Bomb pretty soon here. So he sends the Yeti Bomb in, and he goes ahead and gets down that Eagle Artillery. Now, one thing to note here, whenever you have more than one hero in a spot like that, you may want to consider using a Valkyrie Bomb instead. Because a Yeti Bomb is very good with taking down defenses, right? But the Valkyrie Bomb is a little better with taking out buildings and heroes. But anyways, the witches have already broken through the top compartment. We have the Warden along with a couple more witches up at the top. And the witches have kind of thinned out here, but we still have the important group down in the middle being healed up, and the defenses are thinned out just as much as the witches are. So the witches are going to be able to pick off the remaining defenses and that annoying archer queen on the back end, no problem. So again, when you're scouting bases figuring out whether to hit with these super witches, just remember to think to yourself, can you get all of these threats relatively early? Or most of them, especially tier 1 and 2? Can you keep your super witches together? If the answer to both of those questions is yes, then I highly recommend using this strategy. Otherwise, you may want to allow someone with regular witches or someone else take that base while you find a base that is a little more suitable for this base-specific army. As always, I hope you liked the video. If this does help you, if you are considering using super witches because of this, then go ahead and like the video. If you want to see more guides like this at Town Hall 13, then go ahead and subscribe. If neither of those apply to you, well, do it anyway, or else I'll hack into your accounts and I'll delete all your base designs and I'll replace them with FWA bases.